buying you stuff for no reason is not a way to get a woman who doesn't find you attractive to be attracted to you.
Serious question for the men and the men only. Why the are y'all so good at being friends, but you suck as boyfriends? Please. We need answers.
I am so glad you asked. That is a fascinating question with a fascinating answer. Sorry, this is for something else. And the answer, of course, is this shit. You know about money, don't you? I'm sure you remember it from the last time someone gave it to you for free. So the reason that it's easier for us to be your friends is that it doesn't cost money.
Amen.
Relationships cost money. You know about money, right? Have you ever earned money? Have you ever had a job? Was it really hard? Me too. Did it pay enough? Me neither. So then we don't have enough money to be a good boyfriend. We used to earn more than you. This would be the female average and the male average right there. And you were looking for men who made more than you, which was easy when men made more than you. But you didn't like that. You wanted equal pay, and now that you have it, you are still looking for, just like before, men who make more than you. So when we made more than you, we could give you some of it, and that was the act of being a good boyfriend. Now that we make the same, we still have to give you some, which most of us cannot afford anymore, because the average guy no longer has what the average girl is looking for. This large number of women here, this tall line, is pursuing this small number of men here, this short line. Whereas before, the average woman who was looking for more than she had a much higher percentage of men to pick from. So all of these dynamics, all of this stuff about how money has changed the dating market, those things do not matter if we are friends, because this is not what friends are. If I had a friend and it cost me money to be her friend, I would stop being her friend. I have dated a lot of women. I have also had a lot of female friends. Do you know what the difference is? Number one, we don't Number two, they never say things like, you never take me anywhere exciting. You remember Robbie? He bought jewelry for his friend. That part of the relationship is missing. I once had a really good friendship with a woman. She was married. They both had money, and I did not. So when we would hang out, she would buy things for me because that's what friends do. That's why I was able to be a good friend, because it was not out of my price range. Women seem not to understand that they cost money, that being a good boyfriend means transferring monetary value. And nobody has money anymore. It's been a relentless 50-year decline.
We need answers.
The answer's really simple. Think about how hard it is for you to go to work and get paid enough to afford stuff. And then just remember that you are stuff that we can no longer afford. Men have to work. We do not just have magic money printers, at least not all of us. So yeah, the answer is money. This is the situation now. You cost too much. We cannot do this anymore because we do not have this anymore. I hope that helps.
I'm surprised he wasn't in that video.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that video's over. His
This is my favorite psychologist in the world.
You don't like Home App's voice?
I do not.
Home App is the shit.
Thank God his
Home App is one of my
Thank God
favorite
the
people.
video's over. His voice is just so annoying.
Have you all
App-
seen his stuff before?
Yes, I watched
we
his whole
put him on.
Instagram. Funny.
You can't meet him because he's never going to show his face.
He breaks down a lot of stuff that's been going on. Like, we've been talking about this stuff in the Manosphere forever. Like, Aaron Clarey talks about exactly these same mechanics. He just makes it entertaining because it's almost like watching a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's like way more relatable, I think. But these are like concepts that we like. Aaron in particular has been covering really since like the early 2010s, I think. It's interesting that even in like 2024 we have to re-explain this stuff. But the thing is like what will happen is when women see this, or feminists see this, or women are watching this and they want to be critical of this, say, well, it doesn't take money. It doesn't take money to have my love. It doesn't take money. Oh, that's so mercenary. That's so just like a sexual marketplace. It's not about that. It's about emotions. It's about feels and everything else. And then, of course, what they do, they're still looking for guys who are high status guys. They're looking for a guy who's, and if they're not, they're looking for a guy who's physically more high status, like a Chippendales dancer.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes money. Not only the money, it's also like the time. Like if my friend wants to go out and I don't, I'll just leave him on red, or I'll just leave him on delivered. I'll be like, nah, not today. But if you're in a relationship, I've compromised so much sleep to just get into an argument with a significant other that I would never do with a friend. So it's like money on the forefront for sure, but time, and like how we talked about earlier, like peace. I don't really have to compromise my peace for my friends ever, because I'll just tell them like, no, not tonight. Off. But for a relationship, you can't do that.
He and I sort of, I don't necessarily 100% disagree with him when it comes to like, can men and women be friends? Okay. If fucking them, you can be their friends.
Yes.
But the white belts are the guys that I talk to when I'm talking about like friendship and stuff, because most of those guys think
What do you mean by white belts?
Well, by white belts, like guys who are like more blue pill dudes, like guys who don't know any better will think that friendship is a form of game as opposed to having it be something that facilitates it, as opposed to like, if I just stick it out and I can prove to her and prove my quality to Milady, then she's going to see me as the perfect boyfriend. And what happens is that's when you get friend zoned. That's when you turn into an emotional tampon. And that's why when I talk about, when I'm talking about like, you know, intersexual friendships, the problem that I have, and maybe more to his point as well, is that models of friendship between women and men are different. When a woman says, or says, hey, can we just be friends? And you go, yeah, of course we can just be friends. I think maybe we just keep it platonic, right? You want it, but she doesn't want to. Now you're in the friend zone, right? The thing is her model of friendship is based on whatever her friends are with her girlfriends. If you start communicating with her as her girlfriends, she sees you, her lizard brain or hind brain sees you as a girlfriend. So what happens is when guys get into these intersexual friendships with women, they start to communicate as if they're one of the girlfriends. So of course, one of my
then they never get the girl anyway.
Well, one of the maxims of my book is that women have boyfriends and girlfriends. If you're not her, you are her girlfriend, because what happens is those guys tend to communicate as if they are they speak female language, right? And what happens is her hindbrain says, well, he's a girlfriend. He's not somebody that I would ever want. He's not anybody that I would ever want to have. We're just platonic. We're just friends, right? Until you try to shoot your shot again, and suddenly the stuffed animal gets a hard on. You're like, this stuffed animal was so nice. You're my friend, and now you're tricking me the whole time. Then there's that sort of like betrayal. Then there's that sort of like, well, guys can never be nice. Guys are like, why do guys try to be nice when they're not really nice and they just want? It's like, you knew it. You put him in the friend zone, and now suddenly he wants to shoot his shot once again when he thinks he's built up enough friendship equity, so that he can finally move to intimacy, and it never happens because there was never anything there in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like sometimes girls not always, but girls know that, like, deep down, even if he's a friend, like, he still wants to you. Like, I've known that about dudes that I'm, like, friends with, but I'm like, I still like to keep you as a friend because I know
but you
deep
get the
down
attention.
You wanna, exactly.
And they actually end up becoming a good friend.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a friend like that, and then all of a sudden he gets a girlfriend, or you see him around other girls? And
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah,
that's
but you start having a feeling like, wow, I didn't realize I was kind of attracted to the fact that, it
sparks
Isn't
up
it
a
crazy?
little something.
It does spark a little something.
For sure.
He's a simp, but he's my simp.
Wait, so I have a question. In regard to this video, right, based off the way things are now, there's no way that, they're going to reduce the pay of women to balance out this dynamic.
No.
So what happens now in dating?
So if you were to ask Homath or Richard Cooper, it's just we're on the Titanic and
we
it's going
wait
down.
for the meteor.
Yeah, the meteor's coming.
Okay.
But for me, I'm like, I am the lifeboat. Like I look at certain self-help groups and even a personal trainer or a really good book list or learning actually how to talk to women. I look at that ways of like creating like a group of Navy SEALs or an actual lifeboat, a life preserver. I think it's never been easier to get in that top 15% of men, but the entire world is teaching men to not be in that top 15% of men and that you're insecure and weird. Like a great example, if you guys ever watched the Barbie movie, Ken in that movie ironically does everything correctly. He like leaves Barbie, he's like, this. She doesn't want a relationship with me. I'm going to go do my own shit. I'm going to take over. I'm a badass. And the whole time he's made fun of and derided for actually acting correctly. And so it's a perfect example. It's like Ken choosing to not be belittled and humiliated by Barbie. The movie paints him like he's immature. No, he's not. He's not. Now, the character was immature, but what he did was correct. And so men are deliberately being taught incorrectly. If you choose to ignore this incredible cloud of media that's stuck on you that keeps telling you to do things wrong, it's so easy to get in the top 15% now.
Yeah, and also like with average income being $30,000 a year, it's been easier to get past that. So there's room for more people at the top than we think.
Yeah. Well, do men get taught to just be thoughtful instead of looking at it materially. You know
What
what
do you
mean? Instead of it being something like, well, how she said in the video, well, you bought, this guy bought his girl diamonds and this and that, but like, has anyone ever tried to think about it or tell
Something
men
beyond the material.
that it's actually like something material paired with something thoughtful is what matters.
Sure.
Like, hey, I was thinking about you and I thought you might like this and blah,
But
blah, blah.
that only happens after they're
Yes.
attracted to you.
Sam,
That's after the
If a
fact.
guy you didn't like did that to you, you wouldn't like him more.
You would talk about him on the podcast.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh man, there was this weirdo who like hit me up and he just started buying me things and I didn't like him. It's like, oh, what was the date like? Oh, I didn't go out on a date with him. The problem is like when you say that, and I understand what you're saying, you're talking about a man you're already attracted to. And the guys who are watching here that are white belts, you're not attracted to them. They're trying to learn what they can do to make more women be attracted to them.
Yeah.
Buying you stuff at for no reason is not a way to get a woman who doesn't find you attractive to be attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
Spending money on her own hands does not make her more attractive. Sorry, I'm snitching on you girls. I'm sorry. Paying for her own not make her more attracted to you. It doesn't. And so men are being taught incorrectly. They're being taught incorrectly nefariously by like only, and they're being taught incorrectly also nefariously by big tech, the media, and just the Hollywood industrial complex that tells you to be a like that's basically what's going on.
Yeah.
So
which is why they don't want you asking questions about
which is why they have to make videos about evolutionary psychology.
Well, let me see if I can bring this around and more to your point, and probably you can chime in on this as well. When Homath talks about like it's money, that's only one component. When we talk about money, muscles, and game, those are the three components that most guys in some way are deficient in. Okay, usually it's muscles. Okay. 75% of the American population is overweight, and something like 35% of guys are obese. Yes, it is that fucking bad. So usually when I'm first talking to guys, that's the first place I say, go in the gym, because you'll feel better about yourself, you'll look better, you'll have a different reaction, people will be more, you'll be more sexually arousing, you'll feel better about yourself on top of that too, and then those things end up becoming more synergistic. I'll just speak from my own experience right here. I'll be the first one to tell you that money is not as big a factor as a lot of people want to make it out to be. Because my notch count is public knowledge, okay? And I would say probably more than half of it was when I had nothing. I was a starving musician in the Hollywood metal scene of the late 80s and the early 90s. I had women buying me, like, here, you want a drink? I had a girlfriend buy me a car. Okay, because she wanted to facilitate me being able to, have a relationship with her, those kinds of things. I did not have money. So there was some other aspect about me that she still wanted to be a part of. She made way more money. Yeah. I'm using one example out of my head, right? But so it wasn't just the money side of things. But again, I wasn't going to marry these women. I wasn't going to start some sort of lifelong relationship with these women either. So when guys come to me and say, well, I don't make enough money, I'm like, well, yeah, that's because you're seeing sex and you're seeing a relationship as a transaction, as opposed to there might be other things that are involved for attraction and arousal, like such as my physique, such as my personality, such as my social skills, because back in the day, you actually it was a trial by fire. You had to go out there as trial and error, and if you flamed out, you come back the next weekend and you try it over again. Most of the guys who think it's all about money are the same guys who don't want to go out there and do anything live in real time, so that they crash and burn and they learn those skills as well. So there has to be something other than just the financial aspects of it. And if all you're going to do is say, well, I'm trying to find a good wife or whatever, well, yeah, that's probably going to be a component to it. But I will tell you this right now, when I met my wife, when we first started dating, and we were dating non-exclusively, right? I mean, she was with guys who were like, ER docs and radiologists who made like way more money than I did, and I'm the one who got with her. I'm the one who married her. Okay, so it wasn't about the money at that time. She tells me later it's because I saw potential in you. That was really what she was saying. But at that time, it certainly wasn't a monetary issue. I wasn't going to Bed Bath and Beyond and trying to find nice sheets and fucking pillowcases and stuff like that. Things that I could afford, to make her want to be my wife, right?
Yeah.
It was my personality, was my interpersonal skills. She saw potential in me, and she probably really enjoyed me. So
yeah.
So there is something other than money that's involved in all that. It's humorous when you see Homath, and by and large, from an economic perspective, when it's just down to dollars and cents, yes, this is 100% accurate, but there's more to intersexual dynamics than just money.
Got it.